It's Hughezy Hello, and this is episode 12 of It's Hughezy Hello. And one thing I've noticed is that if Gary Glitter, R. Kelly, and Michael Jackson have anything in common, it's that they've all written great Christmas songs. Alright. And speaking of Christmas, it's also my favourite time of year. That's right, when we get to see Jimmy Lee Curtis whip them out in trading places. And just a little update of what's going on here in Belfast. There's incredibly heavy rains and there's actually a lot of floods. And I haven't seen that many old we wet since your mama last watched me working out. We've got three guests on today. We've got Joe Feeney coming on to talk the Doors. We've got Saiyan Z coming on to talk whatever it is that Saiyan Z's up to. And then we got JGeorge coming on to talk wrestling, the Simpsons. And then he and I reenact, for no reason at all, classic steamed ham scene. In what order they're going to come on, I don't know, because I haven't started editing yet, but that'll be the exciting thing as you watch. But first, plugs. Don't forget that the show has a Patreon. There'll be a link down below. It always helps to keep the show supported because everybody is skint, especially me. Don't forget to check out the other shows on Creative Control. World Through My Eyes with Dave Radigan, The 69-Minute Eargasm with Joel Gertner, Oh What a Rush with Animal from Legion of Doom. Yes, the Animal from Legion of Doom. The Hambone Show. But then, seriously, just go back and re-download all of my stuff. And don't forget to follow us on social media, which is linked everywhere, because these shows are very interactive. If you want to be on the show, all you've simply got to do is ask. And plus, you get a personality to be able to talk. But, on top of that, all you got to do is ask, and you will be involved. Okay, and I've decided that up first we're going to have Joe Feeney on to talk the Doors. Joe, hello. So have you got your... Oh, by the way, welcome to the show again.
We're recording? Yeah. Oh, my God. Sorry, Mr. Bischoff.
Well, speaking of inserting, do you have your top 5 Doors list?
I do. And as I was making it, I realized that there was some that I was going to include, but they're like box sets and shit like that. So I eliminated those. But I do have a list of unknown Doors songs that I might add on to it at the end. But yeah, top 5. So
you're pretty high into the level of fandom of the Doors.
Yeah. To the point where I almost look back and think it was a mistake because I got into the Doors and was reading the biographies as a teenager, which when you're reading a lot about Jim Morrison and watching the movies and reading the books and listening to all the CDs, then you start getting into some crazy behavior and drinking and stuff like that because you want to be like Jim Morrison. It's not the greatest influence to have. I kind of look back and wish my heroes were somebody like Bill Gates or something instead of Jim Morrison, But yeah, I was a huge fan and continue to this day, to the point where every year on July 3rd, which is the day he died, I've been doing this for about 20 years probably. Some friends of mine and I, they're also big Jim Morrison fans, will get together and get absolutely on the anniversary of his death. Go to a local bar, take over the jukebox, drink a little Bushmills, and kind of celebrate his death birthday, as they said in the movie Orange County.
But that's the thing about the way you mentioned the film. I love the behind-the-scenes trivia story about the film The Doors. Right. And that Oliver Stone had written so many drafts of that film that nobody else would agree on, that he just said made up his own backstory.
It's pretty, yeah. When you first see it, you think it's just like, this guy was a huge... But when you read the biographies and do the research and all that, you realize that movie was like 15% truth. Like, it's really just total exaggeration. It's a good movie. I mean, it's kind of... It's very long, but it's a bunch of... I would actually make a half decent one. That reminds me, you said you saw Bohemian Rhapsody, right? Some friends of mine were like, do you want to go next week? Whatever. And I said, dude, musical biography pictures are always completely inaccurate, crammed in. And I was reading an article that was like, part of the story was they based the Live Aid performance around, it was like Freddie had just found out that he was HIV positive. So they went out and killed it at Live Aid. And the article's like, dude, he didn't know he had AIDS till like 3 years later. Like, this movie is, but
like in the film, and I don't know if this is really a spoiler because it's based, well, you kind of know where it's going, but in the film at one point Queen breaks up, and I loudly said, what? Like, that never happened. And then in it, the guy goes to Robert T goes, we haven't performed in 4 years. And I actually took out my phone and looked at Wikipedia, and Queen had an album out every 2 years for their entire career.
Right.
So it's like, what the I tell you what, that Freddie Mercury, that guy knew how to have fun. Like, he'd be one of the dream drinking partners as long as he sat 3 seats away.
Yeah, really. Was he a big boozer?
Big boozer, big partier, a lot of sex, but then obviously, each to their own.
Well, he played on both sides of the plate, right?
Yeah,
he wasn't just gay. He had girlfriends and stuff too, didn't he?
Well, he had a wife, but then he realized that he was on the down low.
Yeah,
and then he embraced it.
He jumped in with both feet.
Like his more than Julian Assange.
Very nice.
You've no idea how much I was struggling to remember his name there. So shall we begin with our top 5 list?
All right.
What have you got at number 5 there, my sweet?
Number 5, I'm going The Crystal Ship. The first album, The Doors, and track 3 is I don't know how often I'll get all that, but yeah, probably my first favorite Doors song when I first started listening back when I was a teenager was Crystal Ship.
You know, one of the things that I've got to say that we were talking about Jim Morrison's drinking, and also how you mentioned Guns N' Roses. I think Guns N' Roses about their partying, because if you look at people like Slash, how do you be into heroin and into drinking all this whiskey yet still have abs and biceps?
Yeah, well, I mean, he wasn't always in the greatest shape, but I see what you mean too. Yeah, and if you want to look at an example of someone who really was a huge boozer, look at the kind of shape that Duff was in by like 92, 93, man. He looked very, very bloated, and that's yeah, so I don't think Duff didn't do like that, the hard drugs, but he loved him some vodka. Slash supposedly was doing everything,
Yeah, supposedly, but like the guy doesn't even have gray hair now. But then I was going to say, because when you look at the way Jim Morrison went, he turned into a fat pig.
I mean, and by the time he was only 27, he had a beard as gray and white as this. You know what I mean? He aged rough and quickly.
Yeah, but he's a good-looking man during his peak.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind going on a cruise with him.
I'm a fan. Yeah, ruggedly handsome he was.
Well, with my number 5, ironically, it's 5-1.
Oh, very nice.
Which I didn't know was a Doors song for the longest time, because I heard it as a sample on that Jay-Z song, Takeover or whatever. Yep. And that awful geek from that awful era of music, Saliva, singing the Jim Morrison bit.
Oh.
See that era of music, whether it was the American rock or the hip-hop had gone, and then indie rock over here was just this posy.
Yeah.
It was I was permanently angry. The only thing that got me through it was the Matrix sequels, and then I seen them, and I was
like, yeah, I never even saw the third one. I saw the second one in the theater and went, I think I'm good on these. But yeah, I tell people, when we talk music or favorite band, that I pretty much stop at about 2002 and didn't really see any need to learn anything new, especially when it comes to rock music. I mean, not only did you have the Saliva types, and I don't know what do they call Drowning Pool or something. They all stink. And then in the top rock band of like 2002 was Nickelback, and then on with them. So there's not much. I should probably do a little more research and check out some of the lesser known rock bands. I'm sure there's some out there. Like there's some good country out there that people don't really know about because they're listening to all the terrible country. But yeah, I kind of just stick with my old bands, and I'm happy with it.
Can I ask you a question? Can you say the words, "I'm a country member"?
I'm a country member?
Yes, I do remember.
God damn it.
You just get got. But yeah, 5-1. I love this song because especially that guitar riff, and it's almost like it is just like it was made to be. The song was made to be used for a hip hop beat, and I just think it's quite good in my opinion.
Yeah, it reminds me of when I was younger. The first time I heard "L.A. Woman," I didn't know it was the Doors, because if you're a kid and you hear "Light My Fire" and that's what you associate with the Doors, then you hear "L.A. Woman," the guy's voice doesn't even really sound that similar because he's so ragged from drinking and smoking and all that. And Yeah, 5-1. It's another one of their songs where they had a bunch of stuff that sounded very, very different.
So what do you have in at number 4 there, Joe?
Number 4, Shaman's Blues.
Oh,
From the Soft Parade. You know, that album, it's like universally regarded as their worst or whatever. Some people hate it. Some people like it. It seems to me the songs on there that are good are the ones that don't have orchestration in the background. I have a funny, like, a friend of mine that I got into the Doors. It's like he got into them, but he likes all the so like he likes Tell All the People, and he likes like Yes the River Knows, I'm Waiting for the Sun, the ones that are kind of really ballad crap that just isn't very good Doors music. But yeah, so Soft Parade wasn't that universally loved, but this is a great Doors song, great hard rock song, and lyrically pretty excellent.
You know, the Soft Parade is also the name of a documentary I've made about men's penises when Lena Dunham's on TV.
Very good, very nice.
At number 4, I'm gonna go with the inevitable Riders on the Storm.
Mm-hmm.
And funny thing about this song is that my stepdad used to be part of not a biker gang, but a biker crew who just at weekends would go for long drives here in Ireland. But the problem is they call themselves the Riders of the Storm, but they couldn't go out whenever it was raining.
Yeah, I like it. The problem with some of their songs is like they're so radio saturated that you know, like some of the songs on my list you'll notice, like Shaman's Blues, whatever, for instance, isn't probably that well known. But if it was played on the radio every 2.5 hours, like Riders on the Storm is, you know, I might like it less. But Riders is great, especially if you haven't heard it in a while. And goddamn, I mean, it really was good in the Doors movie too. It was the first song they played, and it really fit that scene.
And that rain sound effect and the bass, like, I don't know if you ever heard of a band called the Stone Roses from over in the UK. Mm-hmm. They had that sort of like boom 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 boom. Mm-hmm. But do you think that the popularity can ruin a band? Because the way you mentioned there that, you know, it can be a little overplayed. But do you think that sort of stuff, like, because I'm going to see U2 tomorrow, and pretty much every song I don't want them to play is one of their hits because it's so played out.
Yeah.
And do you think that can ruin a band, like with some Doors songs?
Success is whatever, and radio plays whatever. It's how these guys get rich. But it's almost like with Riders, it's almost like Light My Fire. Like, I've heard it 9 million times, and I would almost never go out of my way to play it or to like play it on the jukebox at a bar or something like that because I've heard it so much. But if it comes on and you haven't heard it in a while, it's like I've said, I'm a big Guns N' Roses fan. I wouldn't go out of my way to ever play Sweet Child of Mine like in my car on a jukebox. Because why? Because I've heard it 100 million times. But when I saw them do it in concert, so, you know, what are you going to do? I mean, if these bands, if they weren't popular, we probably wouldn't have heard of them, and then we wouldn't experience the rest of their catalog. So,
yeah. But it's perfect if you're going to sit back and go to Iran.
Yeah. Well, the Doors, definitely.
So what do we get in there at number 3?
Well, we've already talked about it, but the Soft Parade, especially if you kind of dig deep into a band's catalog. When I was younger, I bought the Doors box set, which at the time was like $60-$70, 4 discs, and they had a live version of the Soft Parade on there. It was from a special on PBS Doors did when they were banned from performing live because of Morrison supposedly exposing himself in Florida. So they did this like 4 to 6 song little gig on PBS, and like it was almost like a VH1 Storytellers of the time. And that version of Soft Parade, you can find the video on YouTube actually, and it's latter day Jim Morrison, full beard, you know, smoking a cigar during the interview, but a little heavy, you know. But that version of Soft Parade is great. But I like the album version too. I just think it's one of the more unique songs you're ever going to hear.
Well, for my number 3, and again, because I'm more into the Doors' greatest hits, but number 3, I'm going with People Are Strange.
Yeah,
and it's just one of those ones that this is, I wouldn't call it lazy, but it's Jim Morrison is not really giving that a lot on the mic, so it's quite easy to sing along with.
It's a karaoke staple for sure. You know, it's easy to do and everybody knows it. And I mean, for the time period of the band, even though you talk about Stone Roses only having 2 albums. The Doors only had 5 studio albums, I think. Just only in between 1967 and 1971. So there was different eras for the band, but they were all very short lived. All the albums were their own kind of style and story, and delved into different genres and stuff. But People Are Strange, for the reputation the Doors had at the time of being the darker, gloomier counterpart to like the Beatles or the Stones or whoever, that just fit their persona at the time, and it's a good song. It's a really good song.
So what have you got in there at number 2?
Well, like I said, I had some lesser known songs on the list, but I wanted to keep it so people kind of knew, some of the songs. And 2 is LA Woman. And like I mentioned before, when I was younger and I would hear it on classic rock radio, in the car with my dad or whatever, no idea that was the same band that did Light My Fire. And I think if we were to talk about best albums from a band and stuff, even though the Doors only had 5 albums, I think LA Woman is probably my favorite, being that I'm a bigger fan of the latter day bearded, a little more drunk and a little more reckless Jim Morrison. And that's what you get from LA Woman, really, is just the lyrics are great, and it's a great driving song, and I think it's just one of the best pieces of work they ever did.
Yeah, the last time I heard that, we were actually, funny you mentioned him earlier, Brian Wilson. We were coming back from Dublin after going to a Brian Wilson concert, and it was midnight by the time we're coming back up the highway, and it was empty, and we're driving fast. An LA Woman came on the thing, and that, and it's like, this is perfect. Let's go faster.
Yeah, it's the greatest highway song ever. And I've always read, like, I think Ray Manzarek from the Doors said something like that. Like, until you play that song and you're like screaming down the LA freeway at like 80 miles an hour, like that's the perfect place to listen to it. And there's like a Doors/Morrison tour out there when you're a really hardcore fan, right? You go around town, you see where they recorded, you go to the Whiskey a Go-Go, you go to the Barney's Beanery where Morrison drank a lot and stuff. And so hopefully that's a trip I'm going to take at some point. I also wouldn't mind going into the creepy Morrison motel room at I think it's the La Cienega, where they have his room and you can go stay in it specifically. And everyone that's ever been there puts up graffiti and there's paintings up on the wall. A good creepy time, so I'd like to check that out too. Hopefully I'll get out to California at some point. Not San Francisco, though.
That's one of the things I loved about Ray Manzarek, is that he was a lot like Billy Idol, in that right up until the end, he was still the hippie.
Yeah.
Hey, man, they can't do this to us, man. It's the government and the big conglomerate companies, man. And it's like, okay.
And in the meantime, behind the scenes, Ray wanted to sell Doors songs to like Marlboro for use, or beer companies, or Microsoft or Mustang. Anybody that wanted to use a Doors song, Ray was like, I'm in. Let's sign up for that. And then John Densmore, the drummer, was always the guy who tried to do, because Morrison never wanted to use songs in commercials. It was Morrison's stances he probably would have eventually backed off on. But since he died, Densmore was like the guy that tried to hold on to his morals and stuff. And Densmore was always the one that would turn down these, offers to do commercials. And hippie Ray was the one who wanted all the money. So, what are you going to do? I love Ray, though, because, like you said, with his, anytime I watch a Doors documentary, I'm watching it, I'm going along, having a good time. They're showing old footage. They'll talk to the record producer, they'll talk to somebody else, and all of a sudden Ray will show up with his stupid put on deep voice, and it's always like, oh, I think Jim Morrison could have been president, and it's always like so over the top. It's like, dude, it's just pushing the myths. But hey, he got very rich off making people think Jim Morrison maybe didn't die too. So
my catchphrase is, it's cheesy hello, and at number 2 I'm going with hello, I love you. I just love that sort of with that keyboards, and it's very sort of, well, not Beatlesy. It's not Beatlesy at all, though, what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I just like these sort of shorter Doors songs, because some of them, like, I love the end, but it's about 10 minutes long, and it's like, I don't have time to listen to this.
Yeah.
So and this song I'm way into.
If you listen to live versions, you go up to 20 minutes, with all kinds of poetry thrown in the middle and stuff. Hello, I Love You, I think, was actually, it was, and someone who's a little more hardcore than me, because I've forgotten this, apparently we'll know if I'm right or wrong here. It was either the first song that Jim Morrison wrote, or was the first song the Doors as a band recorded, one or the other. But good song, great album opener too. So number 1, you already dropped it, but it is my number 1, and that is 5 to 1. first Doors album or CD I ever bought was Waiting for the Sun, and I remember when that song hit at the end of the album, I hadn't heard it. So on an album with like Hello, I Love You and Love Street and Yes, the River Knows and poppier love type songs, 5 to 1 was on out of nowhere, and I'd never heard it before on the radio or movies or anything. Blown away. Still think it's their best song, and it's like a prime example of fucking drunken Jim Morrison when they recorded that. Drunk out of his mind and on a handful of downers. So that's what that sounds like. 5 to 1.
I love it. Well, my number one is Oliver Stone's least favorite Doors song, Touch Me.
That was his least favorite?
Oh, yeah. Well, if you watch the film, The Doors, the band and the producers are all going, how could they make this poppy crap? This is awful.
That's right, yeah.
But in real life, the Doors loved it, and it was a huge hit, which ironically is something that happens in the Queen film, where they all, the band called I'm in Love with My Car. But it's like, so why would they release it then if they think...
Well, it's like these music films, they follow a pattern. It's like band members meet. Band records first album. Band experiences success. Band argues in the studio. Band has drug problems. Band triumphantly, you know what I mean? Like, it's just the same pattern. Like, all you have to do is watch I Walk the Line, and you'll see at like point by point, they hit every little musical cliche. Guy hates his dad. You know, it's like basically.
But you know what the greatest musical biopic of all time is? Walk Hard, a Dewey Cox story.
I actually saw a review of Bohemian Rhapsody comparing it to that. Like, I thought I was watching a parody like Walk Hard. I was like, oh, that's not a good review, you know.
So what did you think of Touch Me?
It's another good sing-along karaoke radio song, you know. It's like some people don't realize that like Light My Fire and Touch Me, you think Doors, you think Jim Morrison, but he didn't write either one of those songs. Robbie Krieger wrote Touch Me. Robbie Krieger wrote Light My Fire, you know. Some of the more they have was actually Krieger, but I think people associated with Morrison so much because he was the face of the band that they think he wrote Touch Me and then pulled his dick out in Miami because he wrote Touch Me, you know what I mean? Which isn't the case, but it's a good song. It was indicative, another good word, of that time period in the career where they were writing more radio type hits and stuff, where later on they got a little darker towards the end, but Touch Me definitely was a great.
Yeah, to me, it's just so catchy, and you can't help but badly dance to it, you know. And that's if you can't badly dance, what's the point?
It was actually originally called "Hit Me." True story.
Really?
Hit Me, baby. Yeah, because of a fight Krieger got in with his girlfriend, and actually Morrison's contribution was like, I don't know about that title. Maybe we should make it something a little more pleasant, a little more catchy. And then they changed.
Jim Morrison, who sang the lyric, thinks, I don't know if that's appropriate.
Yeah. Hit Me's too inappropriate for him, but you know, the effing his mom and killing his dad was A-OK. But you know, like I said, I had some songs off the beaten path I wanted to mention, so I got them written down here. If you want to hear more Doors and maybe songs that you haven't heard, the first one I would mention would be Universal Mind. It's off Absolutely Live. That's it. They only performed it like 2 or 3 times. It's not on any recorded studio albums. Orange County Suite was off the box set. They actually took a demo that Morrison recorded in Paris when he was on his way out, basically, and he recorded just some poetry and some songs. They took Orange County Suite, which was just him playing on the piano, and set it to Doors music. Very, very good song. Who Scared You was off the box set also. It was originally supposed to be included on the Soft Parade album, didn't make it. So it's got the orchestration in the back. Very good song. And then a song called Ghost Song, which is probably the most familiar to people because it was on actually the Doors' greatest hits. It was taken off the Jim Morrison Poetry album, which I once played in a friend's car on a drive home from the mountains. And he confessed to me a few months later that he wanted to pull over and for subjecting him to the Jim Morrison Poetry album. But yeah, those are my little less known Doors songs that I enjoy. And yeah, huge fan. I put them, they're definitely my top 3 favorite bands of all time.
JGeorge, hello. JGeorge, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Absolutely, man. It's my pleasure to be on.
JGeorge, talk to me about what's it like to be an indie wrestler right now, because right now, like, this has got to be probably the greatest time ever to be an indie wrestler because there's so much demand for wrestling.
Yeah, dude, it's great. I mean, it's frustrating. It's great at the same time. It's very motivating. And I think it all comes down to a matter of like putting yourself in that position of being one of those guys that are in demand. Is the tricky part because there's so much talent out there and stuff, and it's yeah, it could be frustrating when you see a lot of guys and then you feel like you start to get passed by. But it could also be very motivating because there's so many opportunities and stuff, and I'm taking every opportunity I can get, and I'm scratching on any door I can get to, and I've been making a lot of moves this year, and I'm extremely proud of the strides I've made to get in there.
But the thing is, I've wanted to say this to you for ages, but the fact that like Conan, of all people, would give you any attention at all on his show is a huge deal.
Oh my God, yes, dude. I mean, and Conan's one of the guys I looked up to, growing up and then getting into this business. I used to legit just steal his promos and try to be like him and stuff. Huge inspiration. And then because of the show, I've gotten a chance to meet him. I was at MLW, then I was at Impact. And like I said, it was like a cool string of effects here, kind of going together,
But do you think that in a way that wrestling in general has overtaken MMA for the popularity scale?
That's tough, man. I don't know. I feel like because UFC still does very well on a mainstream level. I think UFC is still up there in popularity, especially over wrestling on the mainstream level. On the smaller, it's like Disco says a lot that more people are willing to pay for wrestling now, but there's not as many fans as people think. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I don't know. It's weird. It's very polarizing because on one hand, the indies are doing great, and on the other hand, they kind of aren't. It's very weird. But, no, I don't think they've overtaken MMA yet. What do you think?
Well, I just think because, I don't know if you know about the indie scene over here in Ireland and around the UK, but like it's blowing up and people here making a big money. Like there's a guy I know, I think his name's Adam Bamford, I think is his surname.
Yeah.
He's making like a low 6-figure salary from wrestling.
That's insane. That's pretty insane.
One of the things that they do here, and I know it's wrong to stereotype, but I'm right now while talking, but they do a lot of wrestling shows at Christmas. So they just say, right, JGeorge, you and 5 mates, big pub crawl, go to the wrestling show where the drinks are sort of lower price, plus it's a good event anyway. You go.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, and it's a great time, and you could see like Joey Ryan is doing something similar now. Oh yeah, I mean it's like weird because like a lot of the people that watch it are adults, and then like the other half of the people that don't watch it are kids, and that's who they want to be watching. That's who they try to target it for. But it's also, I think it's just like the idea of it being it's the way they produce content. They're doing how many shows a week, and then how many, and now it's segmented. Because now, if you want that stuff that gears towards you could just watch NXT. You could just watch 205 Live. You guys they have the NXT UK. So now it's like everything's like very segmented and stuff. Where I think the main TV shows are like the minutia of all of that, and it's a little bit of everything, and it tries to appeal to as many people as possible.
Can you still enjoy watching wrestling as a fan, or do you only seem to analyze it and think, well, I could do that better, or I could.
I didn't know we were live on the YouTube. Hold on a minute.
Oh yeah.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, I do for the most part, especially when good wrestling's great. It's the best. I don't know. It is kind of weird the way I watch some wrestling where I don't even know if it does take a little bit away from it, I will say, but there's still so much in it for me that I enjoy of it and stuff, and I still enjoy watching it, and I watch everything I can. So I can't say that. I still like the actual in-ring stuff doesn't capture the magic, isn't as captured for me unless it's like Kenny Omega, like Tanahashi levels of, you know what I mean? Like when Seth Rollins gets going, or when when it's great, like I said, when it's great like that, it's the best. But for the most part, I enjoy more so like just the storylines and the characters and the actual in-ring stuff, just because it's more study for me than it is. I can't watch wrestling too much as a fan anymore. I can't help but pick it apart and study it and see what works and what doesn't, and then how can I use that in my matches, and how can I use that to be a better wrestler, you know?
Yeah, because I'd be the same, because my job is I'm an editor.
Yeah.
And it's ruined TV and films for me, because all I ever watch is go, that cut move, that's continuity error, or I would have gone to a different angle for this conversation, you know?
Right, absolutely.
It's hard to switch that brain off. But speaking of which, what's your take on watching Mania? Like, do you think that it's kind of like, because it is funny at times, but there's sometimes in these things, like, people are getting hurt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I never thought of it like that. But I don't know. I think it's just very, like, I used to get, sometimes I would get upset, be like, that wasn't really a botch, come on, or whatever. But like, I don't know. Like, I say that, but I've watched almost every episode of Botchmania, and I always watch it. So there's part of me that I still very much enjoy it. I more so just because there's so many like inside jokes and stuff now that like we're all in on, right? Like the table, and then like, are you a big Simpsons fan?
Yo, if you try to out trivia me with the Simpsons, it's not gonna work.
All right. Oh, okay. So what's like one of your favorite episodes? It doesn't have to be your ultimate favorite episode.
Oh, well, it's got, you know, the one where I can't even remember the name. Omer Quimby's nephew was Chowder. That's Chowder.
Chowder. All right, I'll tell you two of mine. Right. Oh, one of my all-time favorites is you only move twice.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is a classic, man. I'm the biggest Simpsons fan. So that's great. And yeah, no, obviously Matthew is too. So like all those, I always appreciate those references to the show.
I gotta ask you this question, and it's kind of like the big scandal, so to speak, especially according to that Ryan Satin. But Hulk Hogan has returned to WWE, and the thing that made him leave was that he basically said, well, he didn't basically. He said
the N-word.
Yeah, full on like this racist rant. But now he's back.
And he's better than ever. Got a knack for making things better. Face facts, cause your opinion don't matter. Which, you know what? Maybe it doesn't. Whoa.
What's your take on Hulk Hogan coming back? Because for me, it's kind of like, not that I'm saying, it's okay what he said because he was in the NWO, but it's kind of like nobody doesn't say not that it makes it okay, but I think he should be forgiven for it.
At what cost does the value of the punishment? Let me start over. At what cost is the punishment worth its value? You know what I mean? And I think that applies for all cases. And how do I? You know, it's weird because I kind of don't. You know, listen, it's Hulk Hogan. You know, and it's hard to. I'm not big on erasing history. I'm not crazy about that in a lot of cases. Certain cases, yes. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, look, listen. How do you feel about it? You know what I mean?
Well, for me,
you think, like you said, he should be forgiven, right?
I do, but I think that Hulk should have been made to apologize in the WWE ring. Because
that's tough. Because do you call back to that? Did enough people forget about it? I have no idea, man, how to even handle something like that. But you know what? Do we have one more leg drop in us or no? I don't think so. Maybe not. So never mind. You know what? How about this, though? How about this? How about the fact we got HBK? And you know what? Regardless of whatever controversy, his last match, if he's going to do one more last match, it's got to go down on a WrestleMania stage. And think of the possibilities we have now. We could do HBK versus Daniel Bryan. Everybody's wanted that match. I think they can pull it off. HBK versus AJ Styles. Are you kidding me? That's the match. I think that's the match you got to do. AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins is another good one too, right?
My actual, the one I'm predicting, regarding WrestleMania, if they don't do Shawn Michaels versus AJ Styles,
yeah,
which doesn't seem as likely because word is Shawn Michaels isn't happy with Crown Jewel, which we'll get to in a minute. But I'm predicting Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles versus Rey Mysterio. Because as much as I like them all.
Wait, did you say a three-way match with all of them?
Yeah.
Oh, that's controversial.
But the reason is because I love AJ Styles.
Yeah.
He's nowhere near the level he used to be. Same with Daniel Bryan. And even Rey Mysterio slipped a bit. So I think have all three in the ring at the same time so that they can cover up each other's flaws or rest holes, you know?
Yes. That could be good. Listen, I'm all for it, man. Give them sign up for like 10 more matches. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of Crown Jewel, and I'm going to say from my point of view,
yes.
That was the most pay-per-view I've seen in recent memory.
Yes. Was it? I didn't get to watch I didn't get to watch it live, and I kind of just skimmed through some stuff, so I didn't get the full thing of it. But what was the match?
But the thing is, because people do the whole thing about Saudi Arabia, but what the critics need to realize is Saudi Arabian government doesn't represent all of the people. It's like, well, look at Trump. Trump doesn't represent all of America.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, at the end of the day, WWE is what does WWE stand for? World Wrestling Entertainment. World.
Actually, it stands for Walk with Elias.
We're gonna get to him in a second, but that's it. They're a global company, and they're gonna travel all over the world, and that's just where I leave it at that. Now, regardless of that, I thought the show itself, I mean, whatever, it was a show, you know what I mean? Again, it's hard for me to look at it from that respect, but I did enjoy some of the content coming up. There's a lot of cool stuff happening in wrestling right now. It's a crazy time.
But do you think that it's weird how WWE keeps booking a part-timer versus part-timer? Because like if it just seems strange to not stick a young person in there to get the rub.
Yeah, a good rub ski. They're always good, brother. Listen, Booker T did it for Cody Rhodes, 2011, the 5-time WCW champion, but 6 times because he won the world title in 2000. So my point is that, mix them up and help build up the younger guys, 100%. Yeah, I'm all for that. You know what I mean? We could do Shawn and these guys, but I'll give Triple H credit because he has done that with pretty much most of the Shield for the most part. Yeah, so I'll give Triple H credit for that. Undertaker, but that's not on these guys. This is just the way they book the thing. You know what I mean? Like they should have. I feel like Bray Wyatt and Undertaker should have happened after WrestleMania and not at WrestleMania because we could have had Wyatt really built up at Mania, and that didn't happen.
For me, as soon as Wyatt lost to Cena, he never recovered. And I'm not even a Cena hater. I just thought
it was just bad timing. Yeah, he needed to win. I was all for that too. Like, because I was thinking too, like maybe Wyatt could have been like that next guy you have, you know, you give him his streak or something like that. But you know,
even if Triple H was fine, I don't think that Batista versus Triple H was the match to go for because
why not, dude? Are you kidding me? The Guardian of the Galaxy Batista against the Game Triple H? Nah, dude.
Yeah, but it's just like who's carrying who? Because like Triple H is working at half speed, and Batista hasn't worked in 4 or 5 years.
I think I kind of disagree because I think he was working at half speed recently because of he's working. A guy like Undertaker's already had his share of injuries in his, he's past his prime, whatever. And Undertaker works at a different pace as it is. Then you have a guy's, because you watch him and Rollins, him and Ambrose. If you watch him in his match from WrestleMania was awesome, and Kurt Angle doesn't work at no half speed when he's on. So I think Triple H he could carry this fine. Batista, I think, does not. I don't know if he does or doesn't get credit, but I think the guy knew what he could do good, and he did it to his best, and that's all he had to do because he was the damn animal Batista, bro.
And I want to see Bobby Lashley versus Batista.
Oh, that's a good one, dude. I still want to see Lashley versus Lesnar, and that needs to happen. That needs to happen, man. That could be a good drag him out fight.
You know what they need to do for that one? Bring back. Do you remember the Lions Den cage match?
Oh yeah,
bring that back for Lashley versus Lesnar.
that'd be interesting.
But let me ask you this question: do you find certain wrestling marks are hard to deal with? And I asked that.
Yeah, listen. I think fans are completely necessary for wrestling, and they are the lifeblood of what we do.
No, but I asked them because there was a really dumb rumor going around for a while, and it just made me angry. It was so stupid. Where the marks are going, I think that The Rock's going to wrestle Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and it's like he just made 120 million last year. Year before, he made over 80 million. He's got to be worth 250 million at least. He's been making $1 million a year, at least $1 million since 1998. He's not going to take any bumps ever again.
No, but he loves the business, though. He does. So he will, if he wants to take a bump, he will. I heard what I had actually heard a while back and this is all pure speculation. Someone said The Rock was going to wrestle Elias at WrestleMania because when they were last in Miami, I think Elias referenced him. So, but which that makes sense though, because that wouldn't be a match. You know what I mean? That would be The Rock walking and talking, rock bottom, people's elbow, go home. But look, I think if it was the right situation, I think The Rock would do it. It's just a matter of him having free time. But I can't also speak for The Rock, and you're right. The money it's not about the money at this point for him. It would be a matter of love. But I think this guy's going to be training for other bigger things outside of wrestling. We'll see in the next coming years. It's going to be nuts. I haven't seen one of his movies in a while, and I think it's time. Last time I went to the theater to watch him was Pain and Gain, and I love that movie. It was really good. But I think I got to check out Skyscraper or something.
Whoa. You didn't see Jumanji 2?
Whoa. No, I did not. I had no interest in seeing that one. I had no interest in seeing. Is it good?
Trust me, you've got to see Jumanji 2. It's actually one of his best ones ever.
Really? Are you serious?
I'm not joking. It's great.
Did you like the original Jumanji?
I haven't. See, I'm not a big Robin Williams fan. And would you like to hear my Robin Williams impression?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, I got to go over here. No, we're going to pick this up. Oh, it's a head. No, it's not a head. Oh, I'm ready. So tell me, JGeorge, when you first got the WWE Network,
yes.
Can you remember what was the first match you watched on it?
Yeah. Actually, I do. I kind of don't want to mention it. You know what? I will, but just work around with me. You know what I'm saying? So it was just out of curiosity to see what how much they were going to edit the show and stuff, and I watched a match from No Mercy 2000, and it was Triple H and against, I forget the name of the other guy, but it was a good match. And that was the first one I watched. Yeah. And then I think that was after Elimination Chamber was the last pay-per-view. And I never got to watch the last pay-per-view because I was in school at the time filming a movie. and I wanted to watch it because that was going to be the Shield versus the Wyatt family for the first time, and it was like the last ever pay-per-view, and I was like trying to watch it off my phone on the, and I never got to watch Elimination Chamber. So the Shield versus Wyatt match, I think, was the one I watched too right after.
The first match I remember watching on it was The Rock versus Mankind. You know, the I Quit match.
Yes, of course, classic stuff.
Because for some reason that was never put on any compilation DVDs, so I hadn't seen it since 1999.
It was a violent match. Wasn't it? I mean, well, for me, the historic part of that match was it being on Beyond the Mat. They filmed that backstage.
Yeah, you know, there's apparently one of the DVDs, one of the special editions, where Mick Foley apparently went on doing the audio commentary, and he really buried The Rock and called him unprofessional.
Yeah. Well, you know, the guy just got whacked 100 times at the head. He must, you know. I haven't watched any of the Fast and Furious movies.
You know why you've got to watch it? Because The Rock is playing Stone Cold Steve Austin in Fast and Furious.
Is that so?
100%. He's got the swagger, and he grew his goatee beard long and stuff, and he's kind of got a Texas accent.
Do you think that it was originally going to be Stone Cold in the movies, but
see, the goddamn problem with Stone Cold Steve Austin is he can't goddamn act. He does the goddamn Adam Sandler movie, and it sucked.
Damn, he said himself too. So I don't like playing people. I don't like playing other people. I like just being me.
I gotta be myself. I can't be no one else. Goddamn. But just as we're wrapping up here, JGeorge, there's a vital, important question I've got to ask you, and I'm pretty sure that anyone who knows you will want to know the answer to this.
Yes.
The Spice Girls are back.
Yes.
Who's your favorite Spice Girl?
Growing up, it was always Posh. Posh Spice was my favorite for some reason. Yeah, and I think she still would be, right?
Nope, that's the incorrect answer. The answer you were looking for was Baby Spice.
I know everybody said Baby Spice though, isn't it Posh?
No, it's the wrong answer.
You know who actually I like now? I would like now actually more as an adult is Ginger Spice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like Scary Spice too. She looks like she could be called
yeah. Top, real quick before we wrap it up, give me the top most important characters. Top 5 most important characters on The Simpsons, that are not the family or immediate family.
Well, the character that I remember making me laugh the most, and despite the fact he was in it for maybe 7 seconds, Dr. Nemesis.
Dr. Nemesis?
Yeah.
What?
Sorry, Dr. Colossus.
Wait, hold on. You're saying he's in the top 10 most important members of the show?
He would be in my 10. He would be number 10. He wouldn't be any higher.
I don't even. Why? What's your reasoning for that?
Because he was in the jail cell, and it was during the, do you remember the episodes of Who Shot Mr. Burns?
Yes.
And he goes, "Bah! He is a rank amateur compared to Dr. Colossus." So he hit his belt and his elevated boots worked, and he hit his head. He goes, "Bah!
Yeah.
When is my lawyer coming?"
That's good. That's all right. Well, here's the ones. Here's some I have. This some of my picks. Right. I was thinking more of the lines of Ned Flanders, right? Mr. Burns, I think, is probably the number 1, right?
Excellent.
Yeah. Okay, Krusty.
Hey.
All right, let's do Principal Skinner.
But I prepared an orange drink.
No, Mother. Milhouse.
I don't like Milhouse at all.
Mo Zizlak.
Now, Mo is one of the funniest. Hey, Homer! Do you remember the episode where they went to, it was a Christmas episode, and they went deer hunting?
Yeah.
And for no reason.
Dude, I was just watching that one with John Waters, right?
Yeah,
he's like, Bart, he didn't give you any gay, did you?
but I love the thing that makes me laugh is Mo, for no reason, he's talking to Bart, and nobody's ever called Bart this in the history of the show. He goes, "You okay there, Barty?
You okay? You ever go hunting? You okay there, buddy? You ever go hunting?" Sideshow Bob.
Although I've got to stand up for him, that T-shirt doesn't say "Die Bart Die." It's German.
The Bart,
the Bart, the
and Smithers.
Sure, I've got a. You know what the thing that's so crazy about that? All the controversy about Apu, but nobody seems to have any issue with the Smithers stuff.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, the thing is, like, there's so many issues with that I can't even go into, but like, it's, you know,
this is the thing about I think it's just awkward timing because they did that episode about 2 seasons ago where the Simpsons really, really went to town on the liberal colleges. And then the year after that, that's when all the backlash started happening of like, oh, Apu's racist and what's the thing about it encourages abuse to children. It treats child abuse as comedy, and it's like
and there's no, like, I don't know, like, it's one of those things where it's like his character is always shown to be like smarter than the Simpsons. He's a hard worker. He's in I mean, yeah, no, there definitely are racial stereotypes, but so there's every other stereotype on that show. Simpsons are an American racial stereotype. You know, all the Italian characters on that show are either hitmen or working in the Italian restaurant. Like,
that's who I love is the mafia, Fat Tony and I'm seeing double. 4 JGeorges. Hello, Smithers. You're quite good at turning me on. But Professor Frink, ironically, someone wrote him he's got one of my favorite ever lines where he's speaking to Homer and Marge and he goes, "Good morning, sir. Good afternoon, madam." The time changes as I was introducing myself to Homer.
That's good. Yeah, those are good. Those are pretty good impressions.
I can do. Do you want to hear? Do you know who Norm Macdonald is?
Of course, I know who Norm Macdonald is.
Talking to JGeorge here. And, I hear he's got a real life heat with Mates Valentine over there. That guy's a real jerk.
Did you Alex Jones?
I've been to JGeorge's house before. He has 5 legs. No one believes me, but goddamn it, I've seen it and it is true.
Damn, that's actually at first I was like, all right, it's like I get the idea, but now that it was like, you know what? No, wait a minute, he got it.
JGeorge has a goddamn portal in his house. He can travel through time, and he invented vegetables.
I'm tired of them installing RFID chips. They're trying to shut down our transmission.
They're deplatforming me for speaking the goddamn truth. Has anybody got any weed?
Dude, that's a pretty. You got like the Texas Flint just in there, just like how he has it.
We should actually do a thing next time. We could pick a Simpsons scene, right?
Yeah.
And redo the scene with.
Yeah, let's do Steve Hams to close it off.
If you do Alex Jones, I could do Vince McMahon.
Okay, but who's who?
I've got a Chalmers. It's got to be Vince.
Okay, all right. So then I'll be out. I'll be Alex Jones.
Okay, all right, I'll start off. Well, Seymour, I made it despite your directions. Yeah.
I'm here with Superintendent Chalmers. Welcome. I hope you're prepared for an unforgettable luncheon. Oh, econs. My roast is ruined. But what if I were to purchase fast food in disguise as my own cooking? Delightfully devilish, Seymour.
Huh?
Skinner or the Steve song. All right, now you got to do the Seymour.
Seymour.
Oh, all right. Superintendent, I was just stretching my calves on the windowsill. Isometric exercise. Care to join me?
Why is there smoke coming out of your oven, Seymour?
No, that first of all, that's actually chemtrails laid out by the government. I got this straight from the source. It's not smoke. It's actually steam from the steamed clams we're having. Steamed clams. Superintendent, I hope you're ready for mouthwatering hamburgers.
God damn it, I thought we were having steamed clams.
Oh, no, I said steamed hams. That's what we call hamburgers down in Texas.
You call hamburgers steamed hams?
Yes, it's a regional dialect.
What region?
Upstate Houston.
Really? Well, I'm from Utica, and I've never heard the phrase steamed hams.
Oh, well, no, it's an Austin expression.
I see. You know, these hamburgers, each and every one of these hamburgers, are quite similar to the ones they have at Krusty Burger.
No. These are patented Skinner burgers. Old family recipe.
For steamed hams?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, so you call them steamed hams despite the fact that they are obviously grilled.
You know, the one thing I should excuse me for 1 second.
Of course.
Well, that was wonderful. Good time was had by all. I'm poked.
Yes, I should be. Good Lord, what's happening in there?
Aurora Borealis?
Aurora Borealis! At this time of year, at this time of day, in this part of the country, localized entirely within your kitchen.
Yes.
May I see it?
No.
Seymour, the house is on fire!
No, Mother. It's just the Northern Lights.
Well, Seymour, pal, you are an odd fellow, but I must say, you seem a good ham. Help!
That was wonderful.
That went great, and I'm definitely going to have tonsillitis in the morning.
Yeah, I don't know why you picked those two very vocally demanding characters, but
Saiyan Z, hello. Yo, Saiyan, thanks for coming on for the third time.
No problem.
What are you recording on today?
Nothing. Planning on this weed stream.
Was this for the big Halloween special? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, speaking of which, so I was on Twitter, and this is like late breaking snowflake news. There was someone that was offended by the fact that a guy dressed up as Eddie Murphy from Coming to America, even though he didn't do blackface.
Oh, so we're at that point where you can't even be the character?
Exactly, and on top of that, Coming to America is a film where Eddie Murphy was doing whiteface. He played a Jew.
Yeah, I love that. Wait a minute. His mother named him Muhammad Ali. You must respect his wishes and call him Muhammad Ali.
You gotta go to church. It's a good girl to church.
Yeah, I love that movie. Zamunda, way better than Wakanda.
I know. I mean, I remember being a kid watching that bit where he was getting his bath in the morning, and I thought, I've got to become African.
Yeah. Although Zamunda was just as mythical as Wakanda.
So what was your what's your take on Halloween? Like, are your kids dressing up this year?
Yeah. Like right now, my daughter already went to a Halloween party. They dressed up and went to school, so.
Well, what's she dressed as? Something triggering?
No, like for school, they want my daughter to wear like pajamas.
Yeah, sure. So let me ask you another thing about the snowflakes and Twitter. Have you heard the rumor that Twitter is taking away the likes option?
The what option?
You know, the hearts option?
Oh, really? The like button?
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, all these new like that new YouTube policy of if someone leaves an offensive super chat, they now don't give the money to the creator. They donate it to charity, but keep their 30%. There's some new bullshit upon bullshit they keep coming up with. They're following what every company ever did, listening to a couple of people, and they'll destroy their own product. It's fine, but
the only people that really seem to be worried about it are like the snowflakes, because I was talking about this with Dave Landry the other day, and it's like the like button on Twitter is the liberal cocaine, and they need that, and that's why they're social justice warriors.
Look at Hughezy dropping names. Dave Landau. Dave Landau. He stinks.
What about Anthony?
I said Dave Landau co-hosted with Tramp on their lean. Not for him.
Well, I got along great with him.
Have you seen his? Did you see him in his movie?
Now, what's that up on Amazon?
Yeah, he does this like one. It's terrible. Dave Landau stinks.
He did beat all over his ass. But yeah, but do you think that this is like step one or stage one of the removal of the social justice warriors on Twitter?
No, I mean, look, all these companies will go too far, and then they'll either have to die or dial it back. So it's not really the.
But if they're not getting their retweets and their likes, liberals might start blowing their heads off in the street.
They just want a virtue signal. They don't really care about that.
But the thing is, really see if it happens, how many liberals are exposed as fake, because if they can't get attention, they're not going to they're social issues anymore.
I don't know. These are the same people who do like Tumblr sessions that no one really. So.
Some radio gold there for you.
I think they'll keep going strong. Like they're addicted to the Twitter mob aspect. They don't really care about the likes. They just want to shut people down on Twitter.
Unbleach says this is meta autism.
What's he talking about? His stream nobody watches? It's how stupid. You've been doing YouTube for 5 years. You don't even have 500 subscribers. What happened?
Oh.
You stink, broke bar.
So talk to me about a couple of weeks ago. Kanye West went to meet Trump at the White House, right? And it's become clear to me that in America, black people aren't allowed freedom of speech.
Well, I was just watching Everyday Struggle, and they were talking about now Kanye said he's done with politics, that he was being used for a message he didn't believe in. Obviously, he caught enough backlash from it. I think he was just testing the waters for his eventual presidential run in probably 2024, in which he will win, by the way, probably.
I'm 100% behind Kanye running for president as long as it keeps him out of the studio. He stinks.
Well, he's going to run for president, and his best thing he's got going for him is his wife. This country put in the Trumps in the White House. They will definitely put in the Kardashians. You don't think this country would pass up an opportunity with keeping up from the Kardashians, White House edition? Kim and Kanye banging in Abraham Lincoln's bedroom.
Do you think they still have sex?
See, I don't know, because didn't they have their last kid, like, she got something where she got pregnant, but like artificial insemination or some weirdo shit?
It's hard to get someone with so much plastic surgery pregnant for real. She's probably got a plastic.
But I mean, like, doesn't he live in Chicago? She lives in LA. How much do they like? It's starting to seem like a marriage of convenience at this point.
But it was a marriage of publicity. It wasn't a real marriage.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Kanye's just wants to be done up and be famous.
I honestly think all the Kim does is. But no, but the thing about that whole time the Kanye was speaking to Trump, I thought it was hilarious because I don't think Trump knows who Kanye West is.
He knows of him. I just love when we watch when you got Trump like, oh shit, this you know you saying some nut shit. I'm still tripping off when he said we need to do mixed curriculums, do basketball and math. Like, what is he talking about?
I love the way you could tell Trump is sort of looking at him and looking at his own staff thinking, why is this mechanic at my table?
I would have loved it if he went when he hugged Trump and he was been like,
oh, I thought you belonged to my son.
me and Kanye for life.
Hey, I was watching the Up in Smoke tour earlier.
Oh, the rappers know Trump is the real gangster, the greatest gangster ever.
Flavor Flav.
Back in my day, we really rode around on 6 foes shooting the ops. Like Trump could probably would be some shit like that.
Fresh out of bail, California dreaming. As soon as I sat on the scene, I heard Hoochie screaming. Oh.
I had Biggie and Tupac killed.
But do you think that Trump actually has ever listened to Kanye West's song?
No.
I think he thought it was Eddie Murphy.
He's probably never listened to a song. I don't think Trump doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who listens to music.
Well, I'm sure he's listening to the song Gold Digger because I fought down the altitude.
Yeah, I remember one of the greatest troll things ever. Look up Trump's acceptance speech the night of the election when he wins. After he's done giving his speech and they play the music in the background, the song they play is "You Can't Always Get What You Want." It's a great troll.
But do you think he was looking at Kanye thinking shit like, Eddie Murphy, when are you going to make Bad Boys 3?
Look, I'm very sorry they canceled your show, Luke Cage. It was very good. I watch it all the time.
I thought you should have come back for the second Independence Day movie.
Look, I had the White House staff made some fried chicken for you. Like you.
Sit down, relax. Would you like a gun or some horse?
Look, here's a bust of Martin Luther King. Was he an uncle of yours or something?
Hello, Buster Rhymes. I thought you were in the best of the Halloween sequence. You're actually the second person that's been on this podcast that's actually done some jail time.
Yep.
How long were you in for?
I did a year.
The whole year?
Well, technically like 10 months with the good time.
It was a good time?
No, I said with the good time I did like 10 months.
All right, I thought you just had a wonderful time in there.
No.
Did you take it in number 2?
No.
Did you drink any banana juice?
No banana juice. I think when you're not doing that much time, basically prison is like some weirdo summer camp with just dudes. It's weird.
But tell me about what it was like. So you were properly incarcerated?
What?
You were like probably like locked.
Well, I was in minimum. Then I beat someone up and they put me in medium. But minimum was like Orange is the New Black type-ish. They had like separate rooms and they would stick like 8 of you in a room. Then medium was like military barracks with the bunk beds in one big long thing with tables every couple of feet. It's more lockdownish and medium, but like I said, it's still like summer camp.
Wait, did you say you got sent to medium?
Yeah.
Because you got caught kissing the guy? That's what you said? Yeah?
No. I punched the guy in the kisser. No, I broke someone's eye socket, so. They made me go to medium.
What'd you punch him over?
We were smoking in the bathroom, and this dude was like, "Yo, can I get a drag?" Like, no. And like he got upset at son about like you can throw down on this bogey because in minimum you can buy cigarettes because they're not allowed in prison. So like the dude tried swinging on me, and I just one time the orbital bone, and of course we both get arrested. Well, they call it arrested, but basically they throw you in the hole for like 20 days, and then when you get out, now I'm in medium because my point. They have like a whole point system, so. It went up. I didn't care. I was only doing a year. I mean, I got out in 10 months, but if I had been good the whole time, I would have got out in what, like 7?
What was it like in the hole?
It wasn't that bad actually, because in the hole you get your own cell. There's no TV, but like they got a book cart, so you get mad sleeping. Just sleep and read books. The only thing that sucks is at like 3 in the morning when they do count, they wake you up and make you stand there. 5 of us down here, and when you walk by, you see us sleeping. But they do it just to be annoying.
But tell me, did you make any good friends for life there, Kyle?
You have to understand Rhode Island's very small, so I knew mad people in there already.
But not even like you told me about there was a guy you were kissing.
No.
You broke his eye bone in the scar because you were.
I don't know what goes on in your Lucky Charm eating Irish prisons. I'm sure they're random taken over by.
It's a good time had by all.
What's Irish prison like?
I've never been.
Yeah, but you must know. You must know. Oh wait, no, these people don't lock up as many people as we do.
No, there's been a couple of films. There's a lot of films made about American prison too, of course. But then over here, because it's still a lot of gangs over here.
Oh, there's what, like the Bobbies versus the Plug Uglies or something? Of course, they're still in prison. Oh yeah, because I bet some of them got caught, so they're probably still in prison, right?
Oh yeah, so as long as you know someone, you're gonna be all right.
Irish prison. No, I need to ask you a question, because technically, aren't you leaving in Brexit?
Yeah, but nobody knows what is going on.
But what's your whole feeling about the whole Brexit situation?
I think it's. And I think it's going to be beneficial for us in the long run because now Ireland can set up their own deal with Europe.
So you're a Remainer.
I'm a me firster.
Me first.
In fact, you know what I say we should do? We should build a wall away from England. The beautiful wall. And we don't need a wall to be over there by that Maggie Thatcher.
You should do that Sargon line. I don't need the wall. I've got an ocean.
Have you broken any orbital bones lately?
We're super violent in the US of A.
Does Desiree smack you about?
What?
Does Desiree smack you about?
No.
I don't know. She doesn't seem like the type of person that would take it.
Oh, shit. On every turn I get.
What man do you find attractive? Like, what's your type of guy?
No, none.
Come on.
Zach Braff, maybe?
Oh, he's nice. You know, it's funny you mentioned Zach Braff, right? Do you know who Mandy Moore is?
Yeah.
I was thinking, Zach Braff used to go out with her like over a decade ago. And when they broke up, apparently he fell into like a depression and get into drinking drugs. And then there's a singer called Ryan Adams. He was going out with her, or they were married, I should say. And then they broke up. And he fell into drinking drugs after that. So I'm thinking, Mandy Moore must be the best sex in the world.
Wasn't she a one-hit wonder with that Candy song?
That's a good song, though.
Yeah. Another thing about Zach Braff, I like how he exposed Lauryn Hill as being some rich. She went to like his bar mitzvah, and she's like some rich kid. And all the time, people thought Lauryn Hill was this street sister with the struggles. Like, no, this bitch was rich.
When did he do that?
It was on the Howard Stern show, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Ice Cube makes me laugh is his actual high school photograph is online, and he's all done up like Prince or Duran Duran.
Well, they all were. I think the only person who was acting like a hood dude out of Dre and Ice Cube was Eazy-E.
But that's the thing about the Straight Outta Compton film that I find amazing is I love that film, but it should have been in the sci-fi category because it was so full of lies and just made up. And Dr. Dre, like, are you really trying to tell me that Dr. Dre walked in their room where Suge Knight was and it was full of Bloods, and Dr. Dre would beat up 2 Bloods and the whole rest and just would stand there?
Well, they should have came up with at least a reason why Eazy got AIDS. AIDS, like out of nowhere, like he caught Magic Johnson's ghost in him and just had AIDS. I love that scene. I ain't no. And the movie didn't tell us how.
I think. Well, I thought they kind of hinted at the Suge Knight thing because he got the AIDS after Suge Knight got his hands on him.
To do with that, probably drugs. Probably cut off some needle or something.
I'm thinking
Maybe he was kind of struggling. Jerry Heller did just take all that money. Who knows what he was doing for the loot?
So, hey, what is your opinion on the Hillary Clinton was doing a live Q&A to a bunch of really smart, intelligent people, and she said that all black people look alike.
I saw the joke. I found it to be hilarious. Hey, as much as I like Hillary, I still do like some of her jokes. The more interesting thing I found out of that is she pretty much confirmed she's going to run for president again.
Oh, God.
Pretty much confirmed it. And, like, I always knew she was probably going to. I mean, what else does she have to do? She's doing nothing. She's just sitting there being old Hillary Clinton with, I mean, let's keep it real. No real legacy of her own. She was a senator and secretary of state. That's it.
Do you think Michelle Obama's ever going to run?
No.
How come?
She'd have to take a physical and make it public and find out she's really a man. Obviously, Michelle Obama's really a man. Her name's Tyrone.
She is from the future. I spoke to a rat yesterday, and that rat confirmed to me that Michelle Obama has got a penis, testicles, and she can fly.
Hey, Alex Jones isn't that bad.
I was on Joe Rogan's show. That guy has a full head of hair. Believe me, I was there. Everyone says I'm lying.
Well, I think the thing with the boner medicine is how quick it works. So you should do a thing like set up a glass of water on a table and take it and stand next to it and then quick edit it. So it just, your boner just knocks it over and be like, see how quick it works. Greatest company ever.
Or I could get a piano and play a song with the boner.
Yeah.
Jingle bells or something like ding 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 dong. And I was trying to plug your social media.
That's kind of hard to spell my name. Just Saiyan Z Entertainment on YouTube. Just follow that.
Okay, hopefully should be the next episode come a lot sooner. Going through a very irritating phase of doing this podcast where everybody keeps saying yes to doing interviews, but they don't say when. We get Eric Bischoff coming up, Jay Moore, Opie, Anthony Cumia. We've got Jim Brewer coming on, which is going to be great. It's all just a matter of finding time. So remember to give a thumbs up. Remember to check it out on iTunes where you can hear the uncensored version. It's Hughezy. Bye-bye.